Screen.
And we're on. Kelly, it's good to see you.
It's good to see everybody. Hello. Hi, everybody. First of all, first things first, first order of business, we would like everybody to meet Yvonne, our newest board member. And Yvonne, you're going to tell everybody the proper way to pronounce your last name so nobody's mutilating it. How about that?
Sounds great. Hi, everybody. My name is Yvonne, and the correct pronunciation is Koenig. So pretend you see a K, nothing else until the N-I-G.
There you go. Just let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
So I am a practitioner now for the past couple of years. I am loving it. It is a journey. And I am so fortunate to have met Catherine many years back, and was fortunate when she asked me if I would like to become a practitioner. I think, Catherine, you planted the seed about a year before I actually signed up, but it didn't matter because I was transitioning in my life out of corporate America. And I knew that I was going to be losing my position. And so when you planted that seed and I sort of reflected on the things that I really enjoy in life, which is to help people and to, well, essentially to help them make their life better. Like that, I'm a problem solver by nature and I'm a healer by nature. So when all those things came together, it just made perfect sense. And yeah, and then I studied under Catherine. It's been a great journey.
Yes. Well, we are so happy to have you as a part of AISH and as a new board member. We just love your personality. You have a lot of business sense too, that many of our members can benefit from too, as well as your practice. So welcome aboard. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, everybody, today we are going to be talking about mindfulness as our topic, as the gateway to peace, power, and presence. Presence is the key word here. Interesting, isn't it? Because what I'm about to talk about, it dovetails so much into Melissa's previous conversation about fear, as well as Catherine's topic of chronic pain, because the mind regulates everything, right? So today's topic is that of mindfulness. And we're going to take a deep dive into it and talk about how powerful it is, as well as life-changing it is. So now, mindfulness is one of those words that gets tossed around a lot. Wouldn't you guys say?
Yes.
But it's not always very well understood. So today I'm going to hopefully break it down in terms of, that you can understand it a little bit better. And not only that, but actually use it in real life terms that you can adopt into your life, because that's always my aim with all aspects that I teach about. So because mindfulness is not just a practice, it is actually a way of being that can transform everything in your life, your thoughts, it can transform your emotions, it can transform your relationships, and also your ability to consciously create your life. So, who here practices mindfulness? And if you have, can you just toss out a little bit in the way of, as you've practiced it a bit, how it's influenced your life and how it's changed your lives?
Well, I raised my hand, so
Mm-hmm.
well, I've practiced yoga quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and yoga really gave me the foundation for how to be centered with the breath,
Mm-hmm.
how to be patient with my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't talk about this in Catherine's talk of chronic pain, but I had a head injury a long time ago and have had chronic migraines,
Yeah.
experienced chronic migraines since then. And so that mindfulness and learning how to be in my body with that amount of pain. So those, borrowing on some yogic techniques and the breath, and there's nowhere to go when your head hurts that bad.
Yeah.
You have got to figure it out
Yeah.
on how to be in yourself with that.
Right.
So I can't really explain that association, but I know I'm able to draw on that when I don't experience those anymore. Knock on
Mhm.
something. Um, as devastating as they used to be, but that was really helpful to me during those times. And now if I have any sort of upset, you know, the breath is an amazing tool.
Mhm.
Inner language to help myself pivot in my thoughts and bringing myself back to center and being in my body are some of my techniques.
Mhm. Yeah, very good. A lot of the key about mindfulness is the present moment and having the awareness without judgment. And the oddity of it is it requires you to not focus on the past, not on the future, but just really staying in that present moment. And because that's your moment of creation, right? And it requires you to not look at the what is, which is damn hard to do sometimes, especially when you are experiencing a lot in the moment of what is, right, Melissa?
Mm-hmm.
So it requires you to be fully here, fully aware without trying to fix or change or control what's actually happening, being at a place of acceptance, actually, of whatever is happening. Because when you're accepting of it, you're not introducing resistance energetically into the issue, right? And when you have acceptance and when you don't have judgment, what happens within your body?
It relaxes.
More
It
That's
ease.
right.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And when you relax in your body, starting with your mind, starting in the thoughts, then you're going to create more ease in the body as well. And this is how it can help with physical manifestations, right? But most people aren't living in the present moment. And most people certainly are not, I hate to use the double negative, but not paying attention to the what is. Most of us are uber invested in the what is and can't look beyond it. So the first part of mindfulness is being mindful to not focus on the what is as a way of changing the what is. So it requires that mindfulness is a practice of not replaying the past or worrying about the future. You're staying in the moment and you are making the shift of bringing your attention only and knowing that your power is now in a place of now and this moment that actually exists. And the what is presently now is a result of where your past mindfulness has been. Does that make sense? It's
Keep talking.
created what is now as
Yeah,
a
Kelly, I
result
would
of
like
the
to
past.
say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that a wise woman, I think she might go by Keely or Kylie, I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly shared with me about a week ago that I
Keely
need
or Kilai.
exactly that I need to be more mindful. And I have been practicing that since then. And I
Mm-hmm.
have to say, prior to my doing that, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely felt like I was in a little bit of a rut
Mm-hmm.
because I was really focused on what was and
Mm-hmm.
what is. So I kept having more of that instead of what I wanted. And
Mm-hmm.
so by doing that, I find myself now with each day, I get more excited to get up. And I can't wait to come in my office and sit and think about what my day is going to look like. And I'm
It's a
not
powerful
focused
place.
on, yeah, I'm not focused on what was. I'm focusing on what is in that moment and what's going to be in the next moment. And then I just let it go and allow it to unfold.
Yeah.
Creates a lot of ease. And
You know what?
I had a lot of physical shifts in my body too. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I can feel my body shifting and adjusting into better alignment as a result. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. See, this is why we appreciate you so much. I love your sense of humor. It took me a minute to figure out what you were saying, but we introduced you and I let you introduce your name so it's not mutilated. Because off camera, I was saying people mutilate my name. So it took me a minute. I'm a little slow, but I'm not stupid. I got it. Okay. You're cute. Um, okay. So you guys know that I'm a woo-woo girl at heart and wrote this 7 Universal Truth book about the powers of manifestation. And we're all the architects of our experience. We are all powerful, powerful, powerful creators, and unaware. Part of the unlearning of this whole spiritual truth stuff and spirituality is to unlearn the limiting beliefs that we've all been indoctrinated with, right? So we have how do I want to call it? A universal intelligence that we all are connected to that is not in our conscious mind, and it's not thinking back to the past or worrying about what's in the future. It's now your connection is strongest when you are living in the present moment and you are relaxed and you are free of any resistance. That's where the non-judgment comes in so that you can receive, you can create a clear channel on the navigation that's available to all of us and the infinite intelligence that's available to all of us to that we can receive that and that energy that only comes in our now moments. Because when we're immersed in our head thinking, analyzing, it creates a lot of resistance and a lot of interference to us receiving that messaging. I've given a lot of experiences in the past where that's been the case, where I've learned to go into that place of quiet and stillness when you're presented with any challenge, that the answer comes in right behind it. But we have to come out of the energy of the problem in order to access the information that's the solution, right? So mindfulness practice helps you. It's a gateway for you to access all of that good information and navigation that's available to us. That's going to take us right where it is to all of our desires. And the first unlearning is that that's the case, and that we are the architect of our experience based upon our thoughts. Everything starts with thoughts, and thoughts become things, right? So we're all becoming, through the process of mindfulness, conscious creators, experiencing life through a new established awareness. So mindfulness becomes your doorway back to awareness. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what mindfulness is. Now, why mindfulness matters, I kind of already touched upon it a little bit, but it matters because of the benefits. And it stresses, or it reduces stress and anxiety in your body, right? Because you are coming out of that loop of ruminations. And most people ruminate on the things that what? We're fearful of, right? That's that ego keeping you hyper vigilant based upon your past experiences. Don't go back there because you're going to re-experience that. Well, just the energy of those thoughts are going to guarantee that you re-experience or make new experiences to be stressful and anxiety riddled about. So it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So when you're present and when you're not projecting fear into the future, you're not reliving pain of the past, right? Don't wait. What is it that spirit tells me? Joyfully create, don't regurgitate, right? So you may begin to realize that as a result of this process that right now in this moment, that you're okay. Because you're not borrowing trouble from the past, and you're certainly not fearing what's hiding in the woods that may never happen, right? So it's futile to do that because you can't change the past and you have no control over what's happening in the future other than what you're producing in your present moment through your mind, right? So that awareness can really calms your nervous system down almost immediately when you are formulating this as a practice in your life as opposed to where you've been defaulting in your thoughts. It also increases emotional regulation. Mindfulness can create space between stimulus and response. What do you know about that, Melissa? You know a little bit of that.
Again.
Mindfulness, how it creates space between stimulus and response.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
What does that harken you back to? Your life
that
coaching
is
work?
transformational life coaching. Yes, if you can make a little space between the thought that came and the action you're going to take, woohoo! You
Life
just give
changes.
yourself
Take a beat.
life-changing. Yes. A little gap is all it takes.
Right.
It
So
takes practice to get to the gap, but you can do it.
right. So instead of reacting automatically, you begin to respond consciously as a result of creating that space, that gap in between your thought and acting off of the emotion that's elicited from that thought. Okay. So this aligns beautifully with teaching of the fact that we're all an architect of our experience. So we experience what we think about. So creating that space has wonderful results when you are committed to the practice. So because you're mindful, you stop giving your power away to unconscious reactions. Now, I can say that I started doing this as a practice and I finally got to the place of embodying it. And man, is it a game changer. It's freedom. Freedom. Because you don't let people trigger you. You know that you have conscious creation over your thoughts. But the real discomfort is the only discomfort I'd have to say is in the reframing of it, catching yourself in your thoughts and actually redirecting them. That's a practice and it is uncomfortable, but the net result is well worth it. This also strengthens your intuition by doing this. Being in the present moment, it strengthens your signal between us and spirit, because all of that busy thought is what's the static interference that keeps us from that communication. So with your intuition, as I teach many of my students, it comes in quiet and stillness. And so mindfulness requires the stillness aspect, and it quiets the mind so that you can hear that guidance. It quiets the mind so that you can feel the energy of situations and make better choices in them. And it also allows you to receive intuitive insights that's available to us. So it's not that your intuition is not there. A lot of times we're just so distracted that we don't receive it, what's available to us. This can also improve your relationships. Not by popping off by your emotional response right away. It gives you a moment of pause, right? So that you can be more present with people. This includes our personal relationships as well as our business relationships, right? We become a better listener. We respond with greater sense of compassion, and that we're not projecting our own stuff onto the other people, because we respond and create from our own inner narrative. And if we are able to hear other people better, lean into the energy of what they're saying and what they're meaning, then it takes our narrative out of it. And generally, that's going to help bridge and foster better relationships with others. You can see that, right?
Absolutely.
And we're all connected to one another. So it gives space for that connection to really work in ways that it's meant to help us. So it actually helps us to live that truth that we are all connected when we are really being more present with other people. It also helps to enhance manifestations and conscious creation. Isn't that what we all want? That there's, in mindfulness, we become more powerful on a spiritual level. And most people are creating from our old patterns. Most people are creating from our subconscious programming. Most people are creating from emotional reactions. Well, reframing that, it's all good. All good stuff comes from that. So mindfulness brings awareness to those patterns that so that we can make different choices, and then we're going to have different responses, right? So we can't change what we're not aware of. Mindfulness helps you with that insight, and mindfulness is what makes conscious manifestations possible, because we are all entitled to all that we desire. But if we don't believe it, we're never going to get there, right? The only thing that keeps us from most of our desires is our limiting thoughts about it. So, simple ways to practice mindfulness. Any suggestions? Anything, ways that you guys use to practice mindfulness? First hint is what we all do every day
Breathing,
on automatic pilot.
breathing.
the breath anchor.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this doesn't have to be complicated as a practice. It's really not. Use what we already have. Breath as an anchor. Simply just bring your attention to your breath. When you do that, just inhaling, noticing just your body and exhaling what's going on with your body, that you were bringing yourself into the present moment. There's no place else to go. Now, as you practice this, your mind will begin to wander. That's normal. Don't think that you just are failing at the practice, because you're not. Just know that that's a part of it. Just when your mind begins to wander, when you start thinking about your breath, when you start focusing on it, just bring your attention back to it. It's why it's called a practice, okay? And just notice as you practice this more and more and more and more, as you rely upon your breath, you're going to just start noticing things and getting information that just drops in. You're going to notice the difference between your thoughts and what's given to you as you tap into that universal and infinite intelligence. It's a different feeling when your thoughts mostly come from efforting energy versus what comes from the other side just drops in and it's easy. And you begin to distinguish the difference between what's your thoughts through busyness and what's given to you. And when you understand and you can separate that energy, boy, that's when miracles and magic happens. And why this is a worthy practice, and why it can be so helpful, and why it is the gateway to all that you desire, because fundamentally, thoughts become things. Fundamentally, we are the architect of our experience. It all starts with thought. And the flow chart of manifestation is when you focus on your breath and you create more control of what it is that you're thinking of, harnessing the power of that creative energy that comes from your now moments. You have more control over your emotions. That's important because our emotions dictate our vibration. And that's important because vibration is what we create from. And why mindfulness is so important and so helpful. Thoughts? Experiences that you want to share? Because I know all of you guys to some degree practice this, and so has to have shown up in your life in some positive ways.
I don't think I do it on purpose, but I think when I do my trance time in the morning, I don't have a goal in particular. Just sit for 30 minutes and quiet, and because things do drop in. And when I'm done, I'm calm and ready to start my day. I don't know if that's considered mindfulness. It feels good.
It is because you're taking control of your thought process. Yeah. In the morning, generally, I will wake up and I will remind myself that my thoughts bend my reality to my desires. That's how I start, with that reminder. And I remind myself how the universe works, that life is not static. It's pliable. It's almost as flimsy as a spider web. That's what spirit has shown me, that you can just like blow it. It's just that malleable. So when you remind yourself that you create from your thoughts, and over time that focused attention upon it the universe has to acquiesce, because it's the law of energy, and that it will eventually harden into reality. Man, that just feels good to say. And how you know that we're all aligned to that. If it feels good, it's validation. If it feels expansive, it's for you. If it feels contractive, no, not true of you at a spiritual level. So you start your day really off, to your point, Catherine, you're starting your day front loading your thoughts on your ability to create for yourself.
Yep.
Is what's really happening there. And when you start that and you are practicing this mindfulness throughout the day, you're going to be able to maintain your focus on these things that you're wanting. And let me just say too, utilizing your navigation system of your emotions is going to help you to navigate your day in the way that's going to keep you in alignment to that of what you're desiring versus not. So those things that are triggering, that don't feel good, is your stop sign to not focus. Do not give much focus to that said subject, because then you are focusing on that. That's what you're beginning to create your new experiences from, not what you're wanting to do. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So focus on the good stuff, what makes you feel good, and mindfulness will usher you through the great gateway to all that you desire.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Any other things that have come up in your practice?
I just want to say that one of the things I know about being in the present moment is it bypasses our idea of time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
We bypass our idea of time, and then creation is right there. And that's where spirit energy lives anyway, where it's where the building blocks are. So when we take ourselves out of earth time, we have a different playing field and different rules altogether.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm glad you said that, because that's so important, that time collapses. If you believe that it's going to take a certain amount of time for things to work out in your life, you're creating that very thing. But if you are understanding that time is not linear, it's a human construct, it does not exist, then if it doesn't exist for you, you can create things now. Otherwise, if your limiting belief is that of it's going to take some time, guess what? It's going to take some time. So such a good point, Melissa. And they told me that time collapses when you don't introduce that limiting belief. And you can manifest, we have the power to manifest things immediately with that belief. Yeah, good job. Yeah, so important.
And it feels like when
Hopefully
you're
those
in,
are.
I was gonna say, it feels like when you're in that moment too, when you're really being in the moment, to me, it almost feels like time stands still. I can just get so much accomplished. So I look at the clock, I'm like, it's only been 15 minutes. Like I did all this because I'm not.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you go into an altered state. Isn't that what happens when we're in hypnosis or in meditation? Your time collapses. That's exactly what happens. It just, it's like, where did that go? How did that, where'd that time go? Well, and also we can talk all about
So
how we
time sort
move
of warped away.
timelines too. Anybody know anything about jumping timelines?
Sounds like a discussion all in itself.
It is. So for another time, I encourage you to, maybe that's something that we can talk about later on as people chew on some of this information. That would be another good topic to talk about. But thank you for indulging me in my mindfulness little chat. I hope that you all have gained a little nugget or two from that. And please enter into the chat how it's working for you and share some of your experiences, because it encourages people, because we're all in this together. We're all trying to figure this out together. So hopefully that helps. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks,
Thank
Kelly.
you. Bye.